Not all superpowered individuals have awesome abilities. From time to time, we've seen comic creators introduce new characters whose skill sets are questionable and baffling. Whether it's a product of the Silver Age or a character brewed up for comedic purposes, there has been a slew of characters to appear in Marvel's panels over the years that, for lack of a better term, are flat out silly. So today we are going to be taking a closer look at some of those abilities with our list of the top 10 dumbest Marvel superpowers. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video to let us know who you think should have made our list. Now let's get to it. And at number 10, Wither. Let's start off our list with a power that's dark as hell. Wither is a mutant who first appeared in New Mutants Volume 2, Issue 3 back in 2003, and has dabbled in both heroics and supervillainy. His power is a unique one that has devastating consequences. It is the power of disintegration. This means everything that he touches decays and disintegrates. It's also involuntary, kinda like Rogue's abilities. Extended contact from Wither could reduce anything or anyone to dust. Luckily, it only affects organic matter. Wither, whose real name is Kevin, believes that his power has a hunger, a desire for him to use it, yet this has never been confirmed and could merely be psychological. Moving on to number 9, Magneto's magnetic attraction. While Magneto's powers are no laughing matter, over the years he's been imbued with a few extra skill sets pertaining to his magnetism that have left a few readers rolling their eyes. Magneto is one of the best baddies ever written, a villain with a point, who can not only conduct extreme amounts of chaos like rising up a whole stadium into the air, but can also mess with the iron in your blood to knock you out, or even, if you're Wolverine, rip your skeleton out of your body. It's brutal stuff. So why on earth would someone think, hey, we should give Magneto a new trick? It's beyond us. That seems to be the case in Volume 1 of X-Men issue 18, where he literally says this, I quote, "Gaze into my eyes. Now you cannot turn away. You are held by magnetic attraction." And no, my friends, this isn't a cute play on words as far as our pal Eric is concerned. He once tried it on Blob and discovered the mutant had a mental block. As you can imagine, that ability faded into obscurity pretty darn quick. Moving on to number 8, Hindsight Lad. Carlton Lefroy is a somewhat sad individual. He would learn that his neighbor Robbie Baldwin was the superhero Speedball during an accident where their building was engulfed in Darkling's dark force. Being a misfit himself, Carlton threatened to reveal Robbie's identity unless he let him join the New Warriors. Speedball begrudgingly agreed, and Carlton became known as Hindsight Lad, a dude whose costume consisted of a helmet that had 2 car rearview mirrors attached to its sides. Yeah, despite not having any real powers, he actually turned out to be an asset, being helpful on a management front and with his computer whiz abilities, and design strategies for the team. He would eventually leave the team though, giving up the life of a hero, becoming a self-proclaimed Marvelologist, a reclusive paranoid period of his life during Civil War. So really, no powers, just a knack for research and strategizing, and had a persona that made 0 sense. Hindsight? Yeah, not really helpful in matters of life or death, is it? Definitely not something a superhero would want. And at 7, DINAH SOAR. Oh boy, this one is a real gem. This is DINAH SOAR. Two words, whose name is a pun in case you needed confirmation on that front. She first appeared in West Coast Avengers issue 46 in 1989 as a member of the team and was born in the Savage Land, we think. That's why she's a terrifying humanoid dinosaur. Here's the thing though, she doesn't speak a lick of English, so we never found out whether or not her origins were extraterrestrial or not, if she was just, merely a mutant. So why does she find herself on this list? Well, despite her horrific appearance, she has the ability of empathetic calming, a power that she would often use on the team's leader Mr. Immortal every time he came back to life. Kind of a paradox, isn't it? Now, aside from that, she doesn't appear to age, and she can project waves of sonic force and fly around because she is basically a humanoid pterodactyl, so. Moving on to 6, Tar Baby. Keeping on with the weird superheroes here, let's take a look at a mutant whose powers are equally strange as they are gross. And at number 6, we have Tar Baby, a member of a community of mutants who lived beneath New York thanks to their extreme nature of their mutations. He actually lives a pretty tragic life, having survived the mutant massacre and returning to live in the underground tunnels after a stint with X-Factor. He was eventually killed by the Weapon X program at their Neverland facility in Weapon X Volume 2 Issue 5. So what can Tar Baby do, aside from potentially having a name that could be correlated with an offensive racial depiction of black people in the past? Well, he has the ability to cover his body with a black adhesive substance that looks a whole lot like tar, hence the name. It seeps through the pores of his skin, and objects will permanently stick to him on contact. As you can imagine, that doesn't help much when attempting to live life day to day. Sure, he can scale walls, but he is constantly getting junk stuck to him, hence his raggedy appearance. Just like a walking trash can. In at 5, GOLDBALLS. GOLDBALLS is so weird, you guys. He is a hero whose body spews gold balls. Not made of actual gold, but of an unknown substance which is kind of gross. And his body can absorb said balls. GOLDBALLS debuted in Uncanny X-Men Volume 3 Issue 1 in 2013. He first attempted a robbery in San Diego after he discovered his powers, and the police tried to arrest him for it until Cyclops and the X-Men intervened. GOLDBALLS is a mutant, whose real name is Fabio Mendina, and he can project gold-colored balls of varying sizes at high speeds from any part of his body. Think about that for a sec. He can summon an infinite number of them, and if he concentrates enough, he can project them into a specific area rather than just spew them out randomly. And he generally reabsorbs them, although if he is calm and focused enough, he can make them disappear altogether. So where do they go? What are they made of? Are they part of his body? There are so many questions. But at least compared to some of the other heroes on our list, GOLDBALLS' balls, oh god, are at least useful. Sometimes. And at number 4, Daredevil feels colors. Oh, Daredevil is yet another character on our list that has a great set of powers but has received a few add-ons over the years that are questionable at best. Daredevil has sometimes been depicted as being able to sense colors by feeling an object. It was something that was featured in his very first issue where he straight up says this while sewing, I quote, "I can even blend the colors, for each colored fabric has a different feel to me." As you can imagine, that little trick faded into obscurity for a while, but somehow found its way back into Murdoch's panels in Daredevil issue 60, where he disguises himself as some dude by duplicating his hair color, something he manages to pull off with some chemicals that he has been randomly carrying around in his pocket. Here he says, I quote, "Maybe I can only feel color, not see it, but a few hip pocket chemicals will darken my hair color to match his." Hip pocket chemicals? Ugh, it's just weird. Moving on to number 3, Genie. Genie, aka Becca Parker, was one of the members of the X-Force's reality TV iteration. More on them later. The superpowered mutant group was made up of a bunch of misfits, including her, with the majority of them having really absurd powers. Genie is no different. As her name suggests, her abilities are tied to alcohol consumption. She can generate powerful seismic vibrations, but here's the kicker. Those seismic vibrations are proportionate to the amount of alcohol she consumes. If she mixes her alcohol, she can produce dangerous tremors. It also doesn't help that Becca was also an abusive alcoholic, who would often aim her seismic waves at her own teammates. Yeah, no bueno. Moving on to number 2, Longneck. Longneck is definitely one of our more obscure characters on this list. He is a mutant who has a slightly longer neck than normal. Seriously, that's it. While that was helpful to Cyclops back when the befuddling character Zorn went on a rampage, Longneck, aka William Hanover, didn't really do much of anything else. He attended Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. When M-Day came around, he was depowered. But here is where it gets real tragic, or hilarious depending on your brand of humor. When all of the mutants were depowered, his neck, which extended up to 6 feet in length, snapped when he was trying to revert it back to normal, ultimately killing him. Yeah. Moving on. And finally, in number 1, ZEITGEIST. ZEITGEIST, aka Alex Clooney, was the leader of the X-Statix team when it was initially called X-Force, the reality TV version. This version of the team was that celebrity superhero team, who generally fought in glorified publicity stunt battles. Alex wasn't the nicest of fellows. Along with Coach, the team's manager of sorts, he had planned to have the rescue mission of a boy band at an event go sour, with an accident occurring that would kill more than half the team so they could replace the members. ZEITGEIST was meant to be one of the only characters who survived the accident, but the scheme went haywire and resulted in his death, with his body being split in two and his guts spewing out. Speaking of spewing though, let's talk about his powers. Now that's a segue. Everyone on this iteration of the X-Force team had questionable or comical abilities to an extent, and Axel is no different. His mutation allowed him to spew acidic vomit from his mouth. Yeah, he wore a protective mouthpiece both in and out of his costume in order to prevent himself from getting vomit on his person, which would likely kill him. It was made out of an unknown material that was plastic-like in nature, but more resistant. His puke could burn through 10 centimeters of steel in less than 30 seconds, which yeah is impressive but still incredibly nasty. Alright, there we have it friends, now it is your turn. Tell us, what other Marvel characters, heroes, or villains have powers that are ridiculous? Let us know in those comments below. If you dug this video, you guys know what to do. Spread that love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd for more lists on Marvel characters. We even have a nifty little playlist floating around somewhere on your screen, so give it a click. In the meantime, thanks for watching friends, I'll catch you all in the next video.